You might not even realize it, but right now, there's a silent, intelligent system making decisions about your money. It's this invisible layer of AI that's constantly working, approving things, protecting you, and moving money around at speeds that are, well, pretty hard to wrap your head around. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain and take a look at the algorithms that are really running the show.
I mean, seriously, think about it. That moment you tap your card to pay. Before the barista can even shout your name, some complex AI has already scanned that transaction, checked for anything weird, and given it the green light. That isn't a person sitting in some back office. Nope, that's an algorithm. And believe me, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
All right, so let's start with the kind of AI you can actually see and interact with. This is the tech that's designed to help us manage our personal finances, everything from budgeting to investing.
You've probably heard of these, right? Robo-advisors? Companies like Betterment or Wealthfront are the perfect example. The idea is simple. You answer some questions about your goals, how much risk you're comfortable with, and then an algorithm just builds and manages an investment portfolio for you. It's basically automated, data-driven financial planning.
Okay, but what's really fascinating here is the trade-off you're making. On one hand, AI advisors are super accessible. They're cheap, they're available 24/7, and their decisions are totally consistent and based on data. But a human advisor, they offer something completely different, nuance. They can give you personalized service for really complex situations, and this is the big one. They provide that emotional guidance that stops you from panic selling when the market takes a nosedive.
And that human touch? It really matters. It turns out, despite how popular these robo-advisors are becoming, a study from Northwestern Mutual found that only 10% of Americans actually trust an algorithm more than a person for financial advice. This whole issue of trust is a huge hurdle. So yeah, we might let an AI handle the simple stuff, but it seems we're not quite ready to hand over our entire life savings to a machine just yet.
But now let's shift gears. Big time. We're moving away from our personal bank accounts and into the massive, invisible world of institutional finance. In this world, a totally different kind of AI is at play, in a hidden arms race where speed is literally the only thing that counts.
This timeline just shows you how insane the acceleration has been. We went from merchants literally shouting at each other in a trading pit in the 1500s to the first electronic exchange, NASDAQ, in 1971. Then, in the 2000s, algorithms started placing trades automatically. And today, it's a whole new ballgame, completely dominated by systems that operate on a timescale we humans can't even perceive.
So, let's be really clear about what high-frequency trading, or HFT, actually is. This is not your long-term retirement strategy, okay? This is a game of pure, unadulterated speed, where these algorithms are fighting over pennies, or even fractions of a penny, but on a massive, massive scale. By making millions of trades a day, those tiny little profits can add up to billions of dollars.
Just to put this all into perspective, think about how fast you blink your eyes. It feels pretty much instantaneous, right? Well, that takes about 300 milliseconds. Just keep that number in your head for a second.
Okay, now get this. An HFT algorithm can make a decision and execute a trade in a handful of nanoseconds. We're talking millions of a millisecond. It's millions of times faster than you can blink. It's wild. We have literally built a financial system that operates completely beyond the limits of human biology.
And this chart here really helps clarify where HFT fits into the whole picture. Over on the left, you've got traditional portfolio management, where humans are still in the loop, validating decisions. But as you move to the right, the automation gets higher, and the sensitivity to any delay, what they call latency, gets more and more extreme. And way out there on the far right, that's high-frequency trading. It is the absolute bleeding edge of this technological evolution. But what happens when this hyper-fast, fully automated system goes wrong? What happens when the ghost in the machine decides to panic? Because the same speed that can generate incredible profit can also generate unprecedented, terrifying risk.
And this is not a hypothetical. This actually happened. On May 6th, 2010, the US stock market experienced something absolutely terrifying. In just a matter of minutes, nearly $1 trillion in value just vanished. It's now known as the flash crash.
And this is what it looked like. This chart shows the S&P 500 index just falling off a cliff that afternoon. You can literally see the moment the market's invisible foundation just gave way. For about 20 minutes, all logic was gone, replaced by pure, raw, algorithmic panic. So what on earth happened? Well, it all started with one single, large, automated sell order. The HFT algorithms saw this massive order hit the market, and they reacted instantly,
selling everything to protect themselves. This kicked off a terrifying feedback loop where algorithms started frantically trading contracts back and forth with each other at insane speeds. It was like a digital game of hot potato that no machine wanted to be left holding. In moments, all the real human buyers just vanished, and with no one left to buy, prices just collapsed.
The flash crash was a massive wake-up call. It proved that we can't just build these machines and let them run wild. And that realization has led to a new reality in finance, one where humans and AI have to work together in this hybrid system of protection and oversight.
You can see this really clearly in the job of a fraud analyst. Before AI, they had to manually sift through mountains of transactions. Now, the AI does all the heavy lifting, flagging only the absolute highest risk transactions. The human analyst isn't a data sifter anymore. They're an expert investigator, bringing in the context and judgment that an algorithm just doesn't have. And this chart basically shows you that new balance of power. The AI handles about 90% of the routine work, that endless monitoring for weird patterns. And that frees up the human experts to focus all their brainpower on that critical 10% of cases, the ones that are too complex or too strange for a machine to solve on its own. But here's a really important question we have to ask. We build these systems to be logical and unemotional, right? But since we humans are the ones designing and coding them, our own biases and assumptions can get baked right into the code. An algorithm might not feel panic, but it can absolutely be programmed to act like it does.
So, where does this all leave us? What does this mean for the future? Well, AI isn't just a tool in finance anymore, it's become a permanent, integrated part of the system's core intelligence. It's a new decision layer. You could almost call it a new financial brain.
And if you think this is some passing trend, just look at this data from the Brookings Institution. The number of research papers on AI and finance has absolutely skyrocketed since 2015. This isn't slowing down. It is a fundamental technological shift that is only accelerating. We are doubling, even tripling down on building out this new machine-driven decision layer.
Which really leaves us with this final, massive question. For the first time in history, the system that manages our global economy thinks and acts faster than we do. So the great challenge of our time isn't just about building faster or smarter algorithms. The real challenge is figuring out how we, as humans, can learn to wisely guide a system that we can no longer directly control.